Well, the fallout is growing after newly revealed allegations of sexual abuse against the late labor organizer Cesar Chavez. Chavez started the United Farm Workers Union with Dolores Huerta in the 1960s and quickly became the face of the Latino labor movement. He died in 1993 at 66. A New York Times investigation published this week examines the claims of several women who say Chavez sexually abused them while they were minors. Among the accusers is his closest professional ally, 95-year-old Dolores Huerta, who says she had 2 children as a result of unsolicited sexual encounters with Chavez. In response, the United Farm Workers Union has canceled all Cesar Chavez Day celebrations for the month. The state of Texas followed suit, with Republican Governor Greg Abbott saying he will attempt to remove the day from state law. In California, communities have removed Chavez statues and murals and are working to rename both the holiday itself and public spaces named after the former labor leader. And Manny Fernandez joins us now. He's one of the authors of that New York Times article and the California editor-at-large for the New York Times. Manny, thank you so much for joining us. You interviewed several women who detailed allegations that Chavez groomed and sexually abused girls involved in the labor movement. You also spoke to more than 60 other people, including aides and relatives of Chavez. What else did you learn speaking to those people?
Well, we learned 2 of those women who are in our story are 2 women named Anna and Deborah. They told us that Cesar Chavez, over a period of several years in the 1970s, sexually abused and sexually assaulted them when they were between the ages of 12 to roughly 16, 17. And these were relationships that he had groomed and seduced them. And some of these sexual encounters happened in his office, and some also happened at a motel room in the Central Valley of California.
You know, just some really disturbing details coming out of your reporting, which is extensive. In a follow-up piece that you also co-wrote, you spoke to Dolores Huerta. What did she have to say about her experience and personal perspective on this leader?
Yeah, and she talked to us for that first story we did. We talked to her for about 2 hours, and she said that she had been holding on to a secret for decades. And that secret was that Cesar Chavez had sexually assaulted her in a car in Delano, California, 1966. She said she had another sexual encounter with him before that in 1960, where she said she felt sort of pressured and manipulated into having sex with him in a hotel room. But that 1966 sexual assault in a car, she talked about that, and she talked about how she did not tell anybody. She was afraid of hurting the movement. And she said when she heard that we were reporting on young girls who had been sexually abused by him, that she thought it was time for her to reveal this for the first time publicly.
You know, these are such disturbing allegations, as I mentioned, but it's really kind of a conflicting thing here because Chavez represented so much to the labor rights movement. He had such a big influence on California history. Since this report, we've seen fallout across the country. Where does the movement he led stand now?
There's a reckoning right now. There's a discussion. It's unclear how the movement sort of goes forward from here. Obviously, it will. Obviously, there's always right now issues that farm workers are having. They have advocates working for them, trying to give them better rights, better wages, better living conditions. But I think that the movement is struggling with how do they go forward. He is the public face of the movement, and how do they distance themselves from that public face? It's those discussions, and that's happening right now, and it's hard to know how that's going to shake out.
Yeah, a lot of soul searching, some tough questions ahead for that movement. Manny Fernandez, we appreciate your time and thank you for your reporting. It was really, really great. So thank you for coming on.